Did you know millions of dollars in unclaimed insurance money might be waiting for you in Arizona? Discover how you could unlock your hidden fortune today. And hey, we aren't just talking about a little pocket change here. $2.4 billion. That is the staggering total valuation of unclaimed assets currently held by the state of Arizona right now. To put that massive number into perspective, a whopping $331 million was transferred into state custody in fiscal year 2025 alone. Some of that money could very well belong to you or your family. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to completely demystify this whole bureaucratic process. We'll guide you step by step through exactly how to search, verify, and retrieve what's rightfully yours. Kind of like a personal treasure map, right? We know you want this money, so here's our roadmap. We're going to cover an introduction to unclaimed money, the importance of claiming it, a step-by-step search guide, how to actually claim the insurance money, common challenges and solutions, and wrap up with resources and a quick disclaimer. Section 1, Introduction to Unclaimed Money. So the real secret behind all this hidden money comes down to a legal concept called escheatment. I know, it sounds like some complex legal jargon, but it's actually a pretty cool consumer protection mechanism. Basically, when insurance accounts sit inactive for a specific statutory period, say you moved and forgot to update your address, or maybe a relative passed away without mentioning they had a policy, the law steps in. It requires insurance carriers to transfer those abandoned funds to the Arizona Department of Revenue, or ADOR. The state essentially acts as a centralized, safe custodian for the funds while they look for the rightful owners. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how that transfer happens behind the scenes. This is an actual snippet of the unclaimed property report form that insurance companies are legally required to submit. Take a look at those specific categories under insurance there. They're sending the state everything from amounts due under policy terms and claim payments to unpresented drafts and even matured whole life or endowment policies. You know, these aren't just random numbers on a spreadsheet. These are actual, real-world insurance payouts that just never made it to their intended recipients.
Section 2, the importance of claiming it.
So the big question is, why should you take action now, and what exactly happens to your money while it's just sitting in the state's vault? Well, here's a really fascinating detail. While your money is in state custody, Arizona actually puts those funds to work to help mitigate budget shortfalls, supporting public infrastructure, education, and indigent healthcare initiatives. But, and this is a huge but, your property rights are never fully extinguished. You've got a generous 35-year statutory window to claim or seek reimbursement for your escheated assets. You're fully entitled to get that money back, but the clock is definitely ticking. Now, with billions of dollars on the line, you better believe bad actors are lurking out there. It is absolutely crucial to know that the state of Arizona will never, literally never, send you a text message to reunite you with your unclaimed property. If your phone buzzes with a text claiming you have a massive payout waiting, it is 100% a scam. Always stay vigilant, folks, and only use official state channels to do your searching.
Section 3, Step-by-Step Search Guide.
Let's track down your hidden funds. To maximize your chances of a successful search, you need the right tools and the right info. Start by heading over to the official state website at az.gov/unclaimedproperty. You can also use missingmoney.com, which is a great, officially recognized portal. But before you start typing, get your information together. Have your social security number ready, and this is key. Make a list of all your previous addresses or the last known addresses of deceased relatives if you're searching for them. The database really relies heavily on matching those historical addresses to your identity. Section 4. How to claim unclaimed insurance money. Okay, let's say your search turns up a match, and fingers crossed it does. Now it's time to tackle the bureaucracy and officially claim your payout. Sadly, you can't just click a button and get a check. Your very first step is filling out the right claim form, because picking the wrong one will just delay the whole shebang. So, depending on your situation, there's a specific path forward. If you are the original owner of the policy, you'll need Form 600A. Claiming on behalf of a deceased relative, that's Form 600B. There are also specific forms, 600C and 600D, if you're acting as an agent for a business entity or another living person. Nailing this first step is super important. Once you've got the correct form in hand, the actual submission process involves 4 non-negotiable steps. First, fill that form out completely. Second, provide a clear, valid government-issued photo ID, or have your signature notarized. Third, you absolutely must prove the address or social security number matches the record the state has on file.
And lastly, provide documentation that proves your legal right to the funds, like old account statements or the original policy documents. The state takes this verification seriously, as they should, to make sure the money goes to the rightful owner and not a scammer. Section 5. Common challenges and solutions. Unfortunately, it's not always smooth sailing. Let's look at some common roadblocks and, more importantly, how to bust through them. A major hurdle you might hit is joint ownership. If that insurance policy was in two names, the state usually expects you to file the claim together. But, life happens, right? If the other owner has passed away, you'll need to provide a copy of their death certificate. Divorced? You'll need a certified copy of the divorce decree and a full property settlement. And what if you've just lost touch with a non-spouse joint owner? Well, you'll need to submit a notarized statement confirming you had no marital relationship, lost contact, and are entitled to an equal slice of the pie. Here's another absolutely crucial point. The unclaimed property section will not release funds just because a name looks similar. Just because there's a John Smith with money in the database doesn't mean it's you. Plus, if you're an heir claiming through Form 600B, you've got to present formal documentation proving you actually have lawful authority to collect the decedent's estate. The burden of proof is entirely on your shoulders. Section 6. Resources and disclaimer. Now, this part is pretty interesting. The state genuinely wants to return this money, so they actively contract with private sector auditors. Under state law, these auditors cross-reference insurer files against the Social Security Administration's master death file to proactively identify deceased policyholders. If they actually facilitate a recovery for you, they operate on a contingency fee, keeping anywhere from 10.25 to 12.5% of the recovered asset's value. It's essentially a system designed to push the money out, even if there's a fee attached when they do the heavy lifting for you. But hey, you don't have to wait around for an auditor. If you're tackling this yourself and get stuck, maybe you can't figure out what address was reported or which Form 600 applies to you. You can call the Arizona Department of Revenue's customer service hotline directly at 602-364-0380 or toll free at 1-877-492-9957. They're literally there just to help you through the process. Just an evergreen reminder for this explainer. Policies and forms do change over time. Please always verify procedures with current state sources on the ADOR website. And if you're dealing with a super complex estate, messy divorce decrees, or just have specific fiduciary questions, it's highly recommended to consult a legal professional to ensure you're acting with proper authority. We've covered the escheatment process, how to search safely, the specific forms you need, and the evidence required to prove your claim. So take all this knowledge, log onto the state database today, plug in those previous addresses, and ask yourself, what could you do with your hidden Arizona fortune?